Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. I thought today we'd go ahead and we'd take a look at some of the characters and kind of what they can do, what their abilities are, what they bring to the game. The playable characters from Fate of the Fellowship, Lord of the Rings. This is a great game based on the pandemic system, but let's go ahead and take a look at these characters, the Fellowship, and some assorted people we know from these stories. So let's go ahead. First of all, let's take a look at Galadriel, the Lady of Light. At any time, not as an action, you can use on any player's turn. While in a haven, you may spend one of the kind of stealth units, stealth tokens or cards, to randomly draw one of the event cards that has not been used during setup. Mirror of Galadriel. As an action, you can reveal up to 4 cards from the top of the player deck, return them to the top of the player deck in any order. Nenya. If Galadriel and at least one elven troop are present when a battle is rolled, you may re-roll up to 1 of the battle dice. This is Nenya, the Ring of Adamant, and I am its keeper. All right, she starts in Lorien there. Okay, let's take a look at Boromir. One does not simply talk about a Boromir card, right? Okay, Boromir, heir to the steward. When Boromir musters in a Gondor location, you do not need to spend friendship. Hero of Gondor. When Boromir captures, you can spend 1 fewer sword token or card. Tempted by power. When Boromir takes part in the fellowship action, you cannot give ring, and others may not take ring from you. The ring. Is it not a strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and doubt for so small a thing? So small a thing, and I have seen it only for an instant. Could I not have a sight of it again? He starts in Minas Tirith. Okay, now we've got, let's see who we got next here. Oh, Eowyn. Eowyn, okay. Eowyn, Shield Maiden of Rohan. When Eowyn when Eowyn musters in a Rohan location, you do not need to spend friendship. No living man am I. If Eowyn is present when a battle is rolled, remove 1 Nazgul in her region from the game for each Nazgul symbol that is rolled on the battle dice. Do not lose 2 friendly troops. I am of the house of Errol? Okay. And not a serving woman. I can ride and wield a blade, and I do not fear either pain or death. She starts in Edoras. All right, we got a couple of kooky kids here, Merry and Pippin. Merry and Pippin, they are actually, for game purposes, 1 character. Loyal Friend, action. Once per turn, you gain 1 friendship token from the supply. Distract, at any time, not an action, used on any player's turn. If there are fewer than 4 Nazgul in Merry and Pippin's region, you may spend 1 friendship to move up to 2 Nazgul to their region. Give us a song. Action, if Merry and Pippin are in Frodo's location, spend 3 friendship to gain 2 hope. We hobbits ought to stick together. There must be someone with intelligence in the party. The Shire. That's their starting location. Arwen. Arwen, Even Star. When Arwen musters in a Rivendell location, you do not need to spend friendship. Send aid. When Arwen prepares, if a character is in the region named on the card, you may move 1 elven troop from Arwen's location to that character's location. Give counsel. Once on your turn, when Arwen uses Fellowship at a haven, the card you give or take does not need to match her region. Solo game. Once per turn, when Arwen prepares, the card you discard does not need to match her region. So there's no cute quote there. That's too bad. No flavor text. She starts in Rivendell. Next up, Aragorn, Ranger of the North. If Aragorn is present when a search is rolled, you may re-roll 1 search dice. Captain of the West. If Aragorn is present when a battle is rolled, remove up to 2 shadow forces from the location for each shadow force on the battle die result rolled instead of just 1. Enduril, action, once per turn. If at least 1 objective has been completed, remove 1 shadow force from Aragorn's location. Renewed shall be the blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king. He begins in Weather Hills. Legolas. Walk silently. Action, once per turn, gain 1 stealth token from the supply. Sure shot. At any time, not an action, used on any player's turn, spend 1 stealth either to remove 1 shadow force from Legolas's location or an adjacent location, or to move 1 Nazgul from his region to Mordor. Keen Sight. Once per turn, when Legolas prepares, look at the top card of the shadow deck. Shrill went the arrow from the elven string. The winged shape swerved. There was a harsh, croaking scream, and it fell out of the air. He begins in the woodland realm. Oh, look at these guys. Frodo and Sam. Again, they play as one character for game purposes. Now, when Frodo travels or takes part in travel, the current player must either spend one stealth or roll a search for Frodo's destination. Elrond support. Once per turn, when Frodo prepares, if he is at a haven in the region named on the card, also gain one friendship token from the supply. Sam's aid. Whenever a search is rolled, you may spend one friendship token to ignore the same number of results, tree results that, of course, find them in the game. You can put on the ring before a search is rolled. You may ignore all shadow forces present. If you do, lose one hope and shift the Eye of Sauron to Frodo's region. They begin the Shire. Eomer, Rider of Rohan, once per turn. When Eomer does actions, he may do one bonus travel action. Marshal of the Mark. If Eomer and at least one Rohirrim troop are present when a battle is rolled, ignore the loss of one friendly troop. To hope's end I rode, and to heart's breaking. Now for wrath, now for ruin, and a red nightfall. And he begins in Eastnet. Faramir, Boromir's brother. Ambush. When Faramir does the travel action with at least one friendly troop, you may do a bonus attack action in his destination. If you do, change a shadow force, or change a battle dice to a shadow force for each stealth you spend. Stealthy. When Faramir does the travel action across a special path, spend one fewer symbol. Wisdom of the Eldar. Action. Once per turn. Draw a ring card, if available, from the player discard pile if Faramir is in a haven and in the region named on the card. One of the king's men born into a later time, but touched with the wisdom and sadness of the Eldar. He begins in Minas Tirith. Gimli, son of Gloin. When Gimli musters in the dwarf location, you do not need to spend friendship. Dwarven craft. Action. Once per turn. Gain one sword token from the supply. Let us light a fire. I care no longer for the danger. Let the orcs come as thick as summer moths round a candle. He begins in Erebor. Now we've got this kooky cat. This is a guy by the name of Gollum. Now, Gollum cannot muster, attack, or capture, or bring friendly troops along when he travels. They tricks us. When Gollum, Frodo, or friendly troops enter or are added to a location, lose one hope if all three are present there. Guide. If Gollum is present when a search is rolled, roll 3 fewer dice. This can still result in rolling 7 dice. Slinker. Action. Once per turn. Take any stealth card, if available, from the player discard pile. Cunning. Gollum can prepare even if not in a haven. When he prepares, you may move one shadow force present to an adjacent location. Do not roll a battle. And again, yikes. No flavor text down there. He begins in Moria. Okay, now here we have Gandalf. This is the Gandalf that comes with the base game here. Mithrandir, when Gandalf musters, adds up to 2 troops to his location instead of 1 troop. Shadowfax, when Gandalf travels alone, he may move 2 locations away. He may not use special paths when he does this. Light and Flame, if Gandalf is present when a battle is rolled, you may spend 1 battle token, to change the same number of battle dice to any results you want. Despair is only for those who see the end beyond all doubt. We do not. He begins in Tharbad. Now, I believe this is a promo or a special card that you can actually get, and you also get the token with it as well in another box. This was sent to me. This is Gandalf the White. Use after completing the Confront the Balrog objective. Mithrandir. When Gandalf musters, add up to 2 troops to his location instead of 1 troop. Shadowfax. When Gandalf travels alone, he may move 2 locations away. He may not use special paths when he does this. Light and Flame. If Gandalf is present when a battle is rolled, you may spend a sword to change any number of battle results to any results that you want. We meet again at the turn of the tide, and he begins in Lorien. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this look at the various characters here from the Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship game. It's a great game, and these are some really, really interesting characters with some interesting abilities there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you've liked this video, please go ahead and like it, click the like button, and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.
I know what you're thinking. Why aren't you in the rest of this video? What do you think, my life is all candy canes and popcorn dreams? I have a job!